We are live, and I'm dizzy as fuck. This is episode number 18 of Savages in the Bronx, live from Studio 54 in New Jersey, and REM Studio in Staten Island, New York, airing exclusively on Twitch and powered by StreamYard. And welcome back to the show on this Monday, July the 26th, 2021. I am your host, Rich Rivera, and I'm being joined by a disheartened, discouraged, disappointed Yankee fan that hates this team, Tom Wospil. What's up, Tom?
I do hate this team. They make me sad, and I don't like that. So I agree.
Sadness. Nobody likes
sadness. Pain.
Awful pain. 3 out of 4. And it's not the Yankees taking that series against Fenway, because if the games would have went the right way, or the way that the timeline, the sacred timeline had it, before Loki came in and fucked up the multiverse, the Red Sox took the series 3-4. Yankees looked embarrassingly bad in those 3 losses. And, not good in Yankee Nation, Tom. Not good.
I mean, just when you think they can't have a more painful, heartbreaking, miserable loss, they find a way. You said it. They should have won 3 out of 4 in Fenway, and then who knows? Then we're going down to Tampa. You know, you win 2 out of 3 there, and then maybe you're back in it. And I know still they're technically 2 out of the loss column, except for the second wild card.
Mm-hmm.
The team isn't technically out of it. They keep blowing it, and it's different spots all the time. It's like this team can't click all at once.
No,
we've had times during the year, the offense has been unbelievable. The bullpen has been shut down. The starting rotation has been the best in the league, but never at the same time. It's so frustrating. It's like, I wish they just would have some games where, you know what, everything stinks and they lose 14-0. And like, you know what, fine, everyone sucked today. And then we have some games where we dominate. But I forget where I saw this the other day, but you know, the Yankees have how many wins? Like 50? How many wins the Yankees got now at this point?
Should be more, but let's take a look.
Whatever it is.
54?
Whatever
51.
it is.
51. I gave him 3 more wins than he deserved. 51 and 47.
How many of those wins have you been like, oh, we got this? Like, there's been so few games where just everything clicks and you win 7-2. And it's like, you know, it's a 6th inning, and you're like, you know what? I can turn this game off. I can go to bed. I can go do something else. I can play some MLB The Show and not really have to pay attention to this anymore. Every game they win, they scratch out. They lose heartbreakers. It's tough. It's a tough watch at this point.
It's a horrible watch. And luckily, we have this little segment that we've done once every month called 9 Up, 9 Down, which I had said last week on the show that we would be doing in 2 weeks' time. But after this horrendous performance they had this past weekend, I couldn't think of a better time to push this segment up and talk and shit on this team and actually go through it, all 9 of those main positions. If we're going to loop everything together from, the pitching, the starting pitching rotation, the bullpen, the outfield, we're going to get into it in a little bit in our big segment tonight, 9 Up, 9 Down. But you can let us know in your comments on our Twitch feed and even on Twitter, and let us know what are your confidence rankings, what position on the Yankees you feel the most confident in. And of course, you can make sure to share, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, where our full episodes are available, including some old 9 Up, 9 Downs. But the Bronx is burning, Tom. We alluded to it already. What's making this team, not put it all together? It's been tough. And you got this MLB Trade Deadline coming up on Friday. And yet I keep hearing report after report that the Yankees are interested in Trevor Story. So that's where we'll start. Buster Olney was the one who reported it the other day. I think this was on Saturday, I believe, reporting that the Yankees have intent on pursuing Story. And also something just came out on Bleacher Report that I wasn't able to update onto the ticker, that there was a formal offer placed with the Rockies to bring in Trevor Story. Personally, I don't want the Yankees making a single goddamn move, especially for Trevor Story. Not a fan of rentals, but not a fan of making a moves for a team that's been playing bad baseball.
Yeah, I would love to see the Yankees make moves, but I would like to see that in some of those selling type moves that we talked about last week. I still don't think this team is going anywhere. And I like Trevor Story. They're not going to sign him long term. I would be shocked if unless they have plans on moving one of the infield pieces, unless you have plans of moving Glaber, you're not going to move DJ or I guess move Gio, but why are you going to move Gio? Unless that's the grand plan, then okay, maybe. But there's no point of giving up any kind of prospect capital for him because you're not going anywhere this year and you can just sign him in the offseason. So
right.
I don't see a reason for this team who is battling for the second wild card to make a move like that. I guess the devil's advocate of it is if the Yankees can get in, they've played their best baseball, I guess, other than the Red Sox, against some of the AL's best. They've played very well against the White Sox. They played very well against the A's. They played well against the Astros.
Blue Jays.
So, the Blue Jays. So if they get in, it's like kind of who knows. And then maybe you could see it, but I don't know. I don't want to give up a lot. I'm very curious to see what the cost is going to be for Story, someone who the Rockies know they're not resigning. Everyone in the world knows he's getting traded. So his cost is not going to be, it's not going to be, 3 of your top 5 prospects. Maybe if it's not that big of a deal, I don't know. Maybe, but I don't think this team's really going anywhere.
And he's not really having a contract year caliber kind of season. A 242 batting average, 12 home runs, 46 ribbies, an OPS of 737, which is actually a career low for him at this point in the season. I am not a fan of this move, and neither is Riff0302 in our chat, who says, but can Trevor Story get me 3 outs? No, Trevor Story can't get you 3 outs. Aroldis Chapman or Chad Green can't get you 3 outs. Clay Holmes can't get you 3 outs. So I don't know what the hell I answer there, but we'll be shitting on the bullpen later tonight in our big segment.
I will say Trevor Story is someone who has played for losers his whole career. The Rockies have had moments where they've been okay, but they've never really been a winning franchise. I think where he goes, he could be one of those guys who he gets under those bright lights. He has a full crowd behind him in some tight September games. And he really could show, being that, borderline top 10 player, he can, talent in the league. I think wherever he goes, he's going to make an impact. But I just don't think the Yankees, it's worth making that move at this point.
Rumors that Story may be going to a team as a second baseman. There's also a team that asked about him as possibly a center fielder. So it'll be very interesting to see what kind of role Story will play for the team he ends up getting traded for. And I think he will get moved by Friday's deadline. I don't think the Rockies want to make the same mistake they've had in the past when holding on to these guys for too long and not making the deal at the right time.
If he doesn't get traded, I mean, the Rockies, franchises run horribly. That'd be another just nail in the coffin of you got to get something, at this point for him.
Yes. 100%. And John Heyman had added, yes, there's no evidence of any traction there at this point after the Yankees had made a formal offer. So the Yankees did make an offer for Story, which, again, was expected, but
Clint Frazier and a bag of balls was the offer, from what I hear.
A bag of guess-the-graph balls from Tom Wospil's house.
Whoa.
We're asking too much here. Yankees injury report. Nothing really too crazy, honestly, just more for the news piece. Tim Castro transferred the 60-day IL. Obviously, he tore his ACL. Chris Gittins to the 10-day after I think he had some sort of sprained ankle. He stepped on a bat the other day.
Yeah, he tripped over the bat. He hit a moonshot that went about 2 feet, and they tripped over the bat and fell down. So, 2021 Yankees, in a nutshell, is
you heard that statement right. He hit a moonshot that went 2 feet and then tripped over a bat.
He just tripped and fell.
Fantastic. Fucking guy. All righty. And Corey Kluber, on a positive note, threw a 25 pitch bullpen session on Friday, as of course he's coming off his subscapular strain of his right shoulder. So hopefully we'll see the Klubot real soon. Hopefully we were about to see him sooner so we can maybe move him if the Yankees are going to be sellers, but the Yankees aren't sellers, so it doesn't matter. But Corey Kluber looking like he's going to be making his return very soon.
He would have been the perfect guy to trade if he would have still been pitching well and healthy. But they're not going to be able to do that now. I think they've kind of ixnayed, right? The waiver trades. So we're just going to kind of have him for the rest of the season. Not going to probably resign him next year. So why even pitch him? Like, what's the point? Other than just like, whatever, we need to get some outs, so just put Kluber out there.
Yep. Yeah.
Weird.
And I like your point. And if the team was a seller, it would have been a great guy to move if he would have stayed
Perfect
healthy.
guy.
Last note I'll make, since I wasn't able to add it to the ticker on time, I made mention to it before. Clay Holmes, acquired by the Yankees from the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Yankees and Pirates seem to be a perfect trade duo over the last few years. But yes, Clay Holmes to the Yankees. They are sending Diego Castillo, who is a minor league infielder, and this one hurt, guy. This one hurt. Hoy Park also going in that deal to Pittsburgh. Park was having a good season with the AAA team. He was up for a cup of coffee on the major league level, but
one pitch and he broke his bat and grounded out.
That was it. And that was it.
It's I don't know. I mean, Hoy Park is someone who was never really considered one of the Yankees' top prospects, so he could just be a guy who's playing well. And hell, who knows? The prospect rankings are, the guesses at best. Maybe Hoy Park ends up being an all-star, infielder, but there's also a good chance that he's just kind of getting hot right now, and then he goes back to being a top 25 prospect and not a top 10. So,
shout out to our former guest, Dan Sheckley, who was on this show and even brought up Hoy Park's name as a possible guy that the Yankees should call up and have on the Major League roster. The moment the trade was announced, the man texted me, he goes, "I'm calling for Cashman's head. Holy fuck, dude. Hoy Park, off to the Pirates." Yeah.
Boo.
That's it. Boo. All right. Follow us at Savages Bronx. You can follow Tom at
Wospil 54.
And you can follow me at Rich J. Rivera, both on Instagram and Twitter. We're covering all social platforms except for Snapchat, Facebook, MySpace, Pinterest, and a whole other social platforms. We're only on two.
I created MySpace, in case anyone didn't know that. So
that's not a true story.
Who created MySpace? Who was everyone's first friend?
Tom from MySpace. Yep.
That's me.
Was that like your pickup line before you met your wife?
I mean, yeah. No, that was it. Yeah.
Tom from MySpace.
I created MySpace.
But listen, I can tell you what you're not going to find on MySpace, Sincerely Allie Studio, because you
don't know that for sure.
You're not going to find a lot of things on MySpace nowadays. Sincerely Allie Studio, our great sponsor. I fucking stumbled over my words there. Sincerely Allie Studio, our great sponsor of the show. And since 2020, Sincerely Allie's been scented candles, wine glasses, coffee mugs, and much, much more. She just released a new candle called Into the Woods, which is, of course, available on her Etsy page, along with all her other great, adorably put together products, all on her Etsy at Sincerely Allie Studio, which is on the bottom of the ticker. And make sure to give her a follow at sincerely.allie. That's with 2 E's on Instagram for all things for your self-care needs. Sincerely Allie. Now, it's time for 9 Up, 9 Down. Of course, our confidence rankings brought to you by Sincerely Allie Studio, of course, where Tom and I are going to give our confidence rankings from position to position, from 9 to 1. And as always, Tom, it seems to get just tougher and tougher to put these together because you just want to line every Yankee up and slap them right across the face for their piss poor performance, except for maybe like one or two guys. So it is what it is. It sucks. It's Yankees Nation. This is Yankees baseball in a nutshell. So let's get this started. 9 Up, 9 Down. Tom, kick us off for your number 9 spot.
So to call almost a little bit of an audible here, I want to almost put a 10 spot on here. And that spot goes to the manager and the front office because there were some decisions made by Aaron Boone this weekend that were just horrible. Bringing Britton in when you need strikeouts to a guy who just gives up ground balls, which was going to beat you. Leaving Chris Guillen not walking, Renfroe. Just some horrendous decisions made by Boone. I haven't been on the Boone fire wagon because I've never known if it's Boone or Cash from the front office. Honestly, it all needs to go. So my number 10 spot is just all of them. Hal needs to clean house, and they need to start new. Cashman, thank you for your service. You've put together some amazing teams. It's time for you to be done. Boone, I love you. I don't know how much of this is your fault, but you know what? You got to go too. We need to have a clean a clean
But
slate.
it just seems that Hal's not going to put his George pants on, and
Well, I don't need him to do it right now because firing in the middle of the season, what's the point? The season's done. But in the off season, that's it's time to go.
I think of that, and I guess it's more like a general, like just baseball thing. How beneficial to your club is it when you do make that change middle of the season from a managerial executive standpoint? Does it change the complete culture of the team? Is there maybe like a comfort level where you could have an interim manager kind of get the feel of the organization, and that before they can maybe name that person the official manager or general manager of that team? I don't know. It's a weird paradox.
It could be, but I think it very similar to what we hear talk about in the NFL a lot. I think if you bring a new GM in, you want that GM to pick the manager. So even if you have an interim manager at this point, I don't think it's someone who's going to end up managing the team moving forward. So, it's whatever at that point. But yeah, this some of the things that happened this weekend were just unforgivable, just horrible, unforgivable decisions. So anyway, that's my number 10 spot, which isn't on the rankings, but
10 up, 10 down, baby.
I needed to say it because they're bad. My number 9 spot is first base. I guess, at this point now, maybe DJ's going to be there, so that should really just raise the rankings of first base. But like I said, Chris Gittins hit a ball 2 feet, tripped over the bat and fell down. Big board went boom. We have no more Mike Ford to play first, so even with DJ playing first, he's not a first baseman. He does a serviceable job over there. I did my rankings kind of more based on Gittins or whoever else might be coming up to play first. So I have them in my number 9 spot.
I'm shocked that we weren't in agreement on the number 9 spot. I had first base at 8 because, again, it's just been the black hole season. Luke Voigt gave us some hope in our last confidence rankings because he was just activated, and you hoped, all right, now Voigt's going to be back and he's going to do Luke Voigt-y stuff things. And again, he's back on the shelf. So first base has just been that black hole at 8. But come on, this last month or so, how many games has been blown in those late innings by our bullpen that was at one point the number 1 spot in our confidence rankings, agreed upon number 1 spot between the two of us? They're number 9 for me. There is no excuse for some of the terrible, terrible performances that our pitchers. I'm only asking for 3 outs, as Chris said before. Loizaga, who's been great. Horrible display on Sunday. Brooks Kriske, who shouldn't even be up on the Major League roster, couldn't barely throw a pitch over the plate on Friday.
That was sad. How does Boone leave him in? He can't. Like he's like poor. I mean, like I say, poor Brooks Kriske. He didn't have it. He didn't have it. He set the record for wild pitches in an inning, or tied it, or whatever. Like, you got to get him out of there. Get someone else in, even just like for like to be a good guy. Like, this guy is out there. He doesn't have it. Like, you have to get him out of there before he could have hurt someone. I mean, he couldn't find the plate. He could have just been drilling people in the head. He could have. Right. That's horrible. But the bullpen has been bad. We have seen, I guess why I didn't have them in my number 9 spot, I'm a little bit higher. There's been moments where we've seen some glimpses from them. Chapman has looked like he's about kind of turning it around. He's still maybe not all the way back there yet, but he's getting better. Britton looked good on Sunday. He did what he was supposed to. He did what he does, which is just give up soft contact. But when you bring in someone giving up soft contact where ground balls beat you, you're going to lose. So that's not really his fault. Loizaga had a bad outing. Green has not been as good recently. So I understand why you have him so low. I don't know. I guess I just have some more faith in them at this point. Maybe just built up from the months of them being, for a while, they were the best bullpen in the game. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm just remembering that too much.
I like to think now and only now, and I can't think of a couple months ago. I think of the now, and the bullpen. It's just scary. It is scary, and I hate to throw Met fans on the bus because they know how it's like. But this team is looking like a bona fide Mets bullpen right now, with the blown saves, the blown leads, how many games they've lost in the late innings. It's nuts. Bullpen at number 9 for me. As I mentioned before, first base at 8. Who you got at your number 8 spot?
Number 8 spot, I have the DH. I have Giancarlo Stanton. He's the one who's basically plays DH every day because he can't play the field, even though he might be playing the outfield next weekend. He won't dare step on the turf, or they won't dare step him on the turf on the Trop. But I have him there. He's looked bad. He ended up actually having, if you look at his numbers, I don't think he actually had a horrible series against the Red Sox. He got on, I think, multiple times almost each game. Walks and some hits, but some of his swings and misses, he swung at a ball that almost like it hit the grass, almost like it bounced on the grass before the dirt. Like it was like a 50-footer. When he looks, I just have no confidence in him right now. I really don't. Even though he might have some numbers that are okay at the end of the season, he might have good looking numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I have no faith in him right now.
I mean, I give him credit for staying as healthy as possible. Obviously, he had the one stint on the IL, but he's been there for most of the season. But the only good thing Stan has done as of recently was that fucking T-Mobile commercial with Aaron Judge, which is hilarious. But he looks like right now he could be struck out by most Little League pitchers. Giancarlo Stanton in my number 7 spot. And that's just because first base and bullpen has been that bad. So I am with you with DH being towards the bottom. What do we got here? So DH at 7 for me. My number 6 is your number 7. So who's your number 7, Tom?
My number 7 is the outfield. We are still judgeless. I don't think it's fully fair to speculate, but they said with the guys going on the COVID list, the guys who were vaccinated can come back faster. The pitchers were all vaccinated. Therefore, it was a hitter who wasn't vaccinated. All the other hitters are back now, and Aaron Judge is not. So good job, Aaron, you big idiot. So without him in the outfield, listen, we've had some fun with Greg Allen and Ryan Lamar. That was fun. But still, they're not, they are flash in the pan guys. There's a reason why those guys have kicked around. And for every Gio Urshela you get who, eventually does find it, you're going to have 100 guys who, have a flash in the pan moment and that's it. So I just don't have a lot of faith in the outfield. I have a lot more faith in them defensively now than before. They can play some defense out there. Florial as well. I don't know, just in a big spot.
Yes. The current Yankees outfield situations, who's who of players, because who the fuck are these guys?
Who's who of AAA.
Yes, it is the Scranton Rail Riders in a nutshell. But yes,
their starting outfield should be the Scranton Rail Riders outfield. It's Ryan Lamar, Greg Allen, and Esteban Florial. That's the outfield. They're AAA players. So
that's it.
That's why I have them so low.
All right, and that's really that. And they're giving it their all. Like they said, I like the scrappiness, but, it's really not a position of confidence because of the player types that we have out there. So, so outfield for 7 for you, outfield 6 for me. So 6 for you is the bullpen.
Is the bullpen, which I fully understand how they could be lower. Again, maybe I'm just remembering the good times a little bit. And maybe I'm just trying to remember, wow, maybe Chad Green could have a few good outings here, and we could trade him for some kind of guys who could help us next year because he should be one of the guys who has value. So.
Right. Number 5 for me, Tom, is shortstop, which I've been so hard on and have criticized almost all season long, but this is finally the highest spot for the shortstop position. Gleyber Torres has played better as of late. He has, I believe, I was checking before, I'd have to verify, but it was, I think, the second best average among the Yankees over the last 30 days. He's also played better defensively. A lot of those simple plays that he was gaffing at the beginning of the season, he was making. A lot of the tougher plays you didn't think he had a shot at making, he's making. Gleyber Torres has done an exceptional job over the last few weeks at the shortstop position. I give him the number 5 spot.
What I find really interesting about Gleyber Torres is he's almost like a chameleon at this point, where of late, he has been, he's been playing good defenses, hitting the ball, but he's also been stealing bases, which is what some of these, younger outfielders or more athletic outfielders are doing. And it's almost like he's like, oh, I could do that. Let me start stealing some bases. When the lineup's full of guys who just try to hit 400-foot homers, he swings out of his shoes and almost looks like he's going to hurt himself which wasn't doing him any good. Paul O'Neill had been criticizing his approach for months, but his approach is a lot better now. He's stealing. He's doing kind of what you want a shortstop of his size to do. He's gonna have a little bit of pop occasionally, but you're gonna want him to play some good defense. You're gonna want him to steal some bags, hit some balls in the gaps, go first to third. He's doing that. I have him one spot above you. I have him in the fourth position for me, but right around in the same area. Like what I'm seeing out of Glaber.
Yeah, last 30 days, he actually is leading the team in RBIs, 14 for him, 3 homers, a 261 batting average, not towards the very top, but good stuff for a guy who's struggling.
He stole a bunch of bases in Boston. Didn't he steal like 3 or 4 bases?
Yeah,
I want to go over the 4-game series, something that the Yankees don't do.
And you're right on that, partner. 6 stolen bases in the last 30 days. And also Greg Allen, 4 stolen bases in the last 9 games. So there you go. That's the difference of speed right there. All right. So number 5 shortstop for me. You have shortstop number 4. Your number 5 spot
is the catching position. And I'll be honest, of 5 through 1, and it's the weird thing about this team right now, I feel pretty good about 5 through 1. And you really almost, for me, could about interchange where these guys are. Yeah. But I have catching at 5th. Gary was extremely hot in June. It was cooling off a little bit. It looks like he may be kind of getting back a little bit to it. He had the back spasms over the weekend. He had a triple, which is fun. Yep. Gary getting a triple is a fun time to watch. So I'm at the 5 spot, but again, I could see him higher up. It just kind of depends on my mood at the time.
Yep. Across the last 30 games, a 161 batting average. Sanchez, he definitely has cooled off since his hot stretch in June. Gary, for me, I have at the number 3 spot. I'm not really going to make much more points that you did there. So Sanchez, we're proud of you. We're proud of you, Gary. Even when we do love you, Gary. You're sort of cooled down, we're still proud of you. My number 4 spot goes to the starting rotation. The starting rotation has been an up and down for us in this 9 up, 9 down. For me, I believe last time out, I had the rotation all the way up at the number 7 spot because they were doing so bad. But now it looks like Cole is starting to figure it out, despite this last game against the Red Sox and getting teed off on by Rafael Devers. And
gave up 1 homer.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't pitch great.
It was Cortez who gave the home run.
They both did.
You hate to see it.
They both gave up home runs. They both gave up homers.
Jameson Taillon has really turned it around. And you're proud of what you see from Jamo. Jamo's look great. Herman has his flashes that he showed, especially on Sunday with the almost no-hitter. We don't want to talk about the result of that fucking disgrace of a game. But yes, the starting rotation. I'm happy with what they've had to put out there. And if this team was a true contender, if this was a team that I was like, hey, they need to make a move for this move to make any sort of play at the World Series, you got a starting pitcher to complement this team. Hope Kluber comes back in full shape. Hope that Severino comes back towards the end. But right now, the starting pitching, I think, is holding up what they have.
Yeah, Montgomery's been good as well. You basically mentioned the rest of the guys. Monty's been good too. Rich and I saw each other for the first time Thursday.
Yep.
Monty was on the mound. We were at a bar outside.
Shout out Stagehouse Tavern.
Yep, good old Stagehouse. And but yeah, I think the Yankees scored a run for the first time for Monty in a month, and that's not exaggerating. They had not scored a run while he was on the mound in over a month. So the rotation's been holding up their part. They're another one that honestly they could easily be one on my list just because they've been good. They haven't been getting run support, which adds to the stress of what they need to do. Rotation's been good again.
Yeah, rotation's been good. So rotation at 4 for me, catcher at 3 for me, rotation at 3 for you. You had shortstop again at 4, so I'm kind of like jumbling it around. But 1 and 2, we are in complete agreement with here, Tom. At the number 2 spot, I'll start second base. Second base, whether it's LeMahieu, who should be there, or little Rugi Odor.
That's not why I have him there. I have him there for little Rugi.
Little Rugi Odor, and 288 over the last 30, hitting 4 bombs, clutch as fuck. The true energizer of this team right now. Love Rougned Odor.
Absolutely. And when I put my rankings together, I did it in mind that Rugi is playing second base and DJ is playing third. So that's kind of where the confidence rankings went. honestly, even at that point, rookie could be number one. Second base could be number one. You love what you've been seeing out of him. He's bringing the fire. He's bringing the emotion. It's hard to do that when you're not playing well, and he's played pretty poorly for a while there.
Yes.
But he's hit some big home runs. He's always the first guy to give people high fives. He's on mound visits. Every mound visit, he's out there talking to whoever. Doesn't matter who's what the trip is for. He's everywhere. He's so fun to watch. He's actually he's one of the only players who brings entertainment to me as I watch the Yankees.
Yeah, I like it. And I wish this team had more guys like that just were spark plugs. And even if they're not performing well, like you mentioned, the first one in the dugout, the first one high-fiving guys. Hey, Ronald Torreyes, who we recently saw in the Yankees-Philly series, was that guy for us in 2017, that small, scrappy guy doing the fake interviews at the end of the dugout with Didi. Like, you need fun guys like that in your clubhouse, man. It's sometimes not always about the quality ball player. Sometimes the guy that can, fill out a couple of roles on the team, be a role player, and be a veteran in the dugout that can have some fun.
Yeah, especially a team that's struggling. I think they need to like release some of that stress and the tension, and Rugi does that for them. He's all over the place. He's you wonder if the guys either, I feel like there's a thin line whether they hate him or they love him, and
right.
Depending on the day it might vary. But watching it, I love watching Rugi. So
yes.
That's how we finished up here. And then number one, we both had third base at number one. Again, I have it with the idea of LeMahieu there currently, because that's what he's been over the last month. You guys, your thoughts on third base?
Yeah, I like the move. I was actually more thinking Gio Urshela, even though he has been, out on the shelf with COVID for the last week or so. Urshela, I mean, this is a guy that we've had towards our top four without even hesitation. So I think at this rate, I feel confident as hell with my third base scenario. And if it is LeMahieu there, so be it, depending on what the Yankees end up doing by Friday. Again, hopefully they're not doing anything. But if it's not him and you're sticking with our man Urshela, I'm fine with that too. Urshela led the team in batting average in the month. Now, granted, he only had 48 at-bats, 292 batting average for him, but Urshela seems to be a clutch performer still. He's still a great defensive player. So, again, I have so much confidence at third base that I'm like, we don't need a third baseman, and that's where it comes down to for me. I feel confident when the ball gets hit there. I'm confident with the guy who comes up in the batter's box that is playing third base. So whether you're talking about LeMahieu or Urshela again, I'm more inclined on talking about Gio Urshela because you just love what you're getting out of a guy that costs you nothing from Toronto.
It's certainly not bad.
Certainly not a bad deal. Not a bad deal at all. So with that is our 9 up, 9 down for the month of July. Tom coming in with third base at 1, second base at 2, starting rotation at 3, shortstop at 4, catcher at 5, bullpen at 6, outfield at 7, designated hitter at 8, first base, the black hole at 9. I'm coming in with third base at 1, second base 2, catcher 3, starting rotation at 4, shortstop at 5. Good job, Glaber. Number 6, the outfield, designated hitter 7, first base 8, the bullpen, the atrocious bullpen, the Mets-like bullpen at number 9. And is your 9 up, 9 down for the month of July. We did it.
We sure did.
All right, guys. Well, make sure to check out my other show leading off 7 p.m. at 7 p.m. 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on Twitch. We'll be back next Monday for another edition of our show. Now, I bring up leading off not just for the cheap plug and promotion, but actually our next segment here, Tom, is now a segment that we are adopting from leading off, that I've now taken from leading off.
Beautiful baby.
Shows. So I took hot take from leading off. And now the fans wanted to ask, what is hot take, hot fake, Tom? Hell, even you asked, what the hell is hot take, hot fake?
I sure did.
So hot take, hot fake, simple as this. So of course, now we're Yankee-fying this segment. One of us is going to come out and bring out a take, and it could be a take on whatever, Yankee history note or something going on with the team, which is most likely going to be the take that we're going to go down, but it's a Yankees related hot take. but there could be one that we might throw in there that's actual bullshit. And it's the other host's job to call out that bullshit. So that is why we have hot take, hot fake. So Tom, kick it off. What is your hot take or hot fake?
Okay, it's the first time doing this, the first timer here, first time, long time on the hot take, hot fake. And my long time, I mean, Rich had to explain it to me before we started.
Right.
But I think it's time for the Yankees to adopt a third jersey, an alternate jersey, whether it's we weren't at home or on the road. I think it's time to bring some new excitement to break with some of the tradition and bust out a third jersey, whatever that might be.
Tom, I feel like you're a bit of a Yankees traditionalist, though. So I'm going to call bullshit. I'm saying that's a hot fake.
That is not true. That is, I would say it's a hot take.
Wow. Okay.
I do think and I love a lot of the Yankees history, but I think it's time to do something and get the kids excited. Have some kind of a fun third jersey. You don't have to put I would still, I guess, go for the traditional side. I don't, need to have names on it. I do love that they don't have names on their jerseys, but just something fun, something a little different. It's a very slight change to a jersey, but I would love to see them do the cream color jerseys, kind of like you see from the Phillies will do it, where it's almost that 60s style, almost looks like it's an aged jersey at home. Okay. Maybe in the days with the big American League logo on it, back when Maris used to wear basically a sleeveless jersey. I would love to see staying in one of those. I think it'd be great. That's basically the same as our current jersey, but even something else. I think it's time that the Yankees, they have to get with the times and do something fun for the fan base, for the kids. Mm-hmm. If your dad or your grandpa doesn't like it, they have to get used to it, and they have to do things that are fun for kids to get into the team. And I think that could be something they could do.
Well, I always appreciate the spring training threads. I like the blue top with the pinstripe pants. So maybe there is something along those lines they can do that's not completely emulating those spring training threads. But I'm with you. I do like that idea of having an alternate jersey. It does get a bit boring when it's the same two jerseys you see all the time, and it's tradition. I get it, but having that alternate, that Friday night jersey, that'd be nice.
A lot of teams do the Sunday day jersey, the Sunday home jersey for the day games. I'd like to see something like that. Again, the cream one is something I would love to see, even though it's very similar to what they have. But if you do it back to the 61 or something in that era, mm-hmm. I think it could be a fun thing to do to the Yankees can print money, obviously, because they would sell a million. They would sell 1,099,000. Mm-hmm. But I think it'd be a fun thing.
Yeah, I like it. And look, Mets fans are having fun right now. Their black jerseys are coming back, so they're going
That's true,
crazy.
Because the Mets do have black on their logo, so it makes sense for them a black jersey. Oh wait, they don't. It's stupid. Hot take.
Tom Ever, the Mets.
That's just honestly, this is a bit of a tangent. That's just a uniform thing for me. If you have black in your logo, yeah, wear a black jersey. It's cool. If you don't have black in your logo, why are you wearing a black jersey? You're an idiot.
I think they're kind of sick. I don't know. That's just me. I always liked them. That was something I grew up on too, just watching the Mets in the black jersey. And maybe it's just I've just seen it, so I just liked it. I don't have I'm not pissed with it. I did have my rant on the Cleveland Guardians in the recent show.
I sure heard that.
And that I'm not a fan of at all.
I like a lot of the other Mets jerseys. It's not hating on the Mets uniforms. I do like the colors, like a lot of the jerseys. It's the black jersey. It's just
the pinstripe one the most.
That one's fine. I like some of the. I like the all white they used to have. The all white with the Mets on it without the pinstripes for home.
Okay,
but
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's just a team that doesn't have black as one of your colors to then have a black jersey. It just seems what's the point?
What if the Yankees did an inverted pinstripe? The white is where the navy blue is, and the pinstripe is white.
I mean, that would be a look. I'd have to see it. But it's something again, if it's something when you see those All-Star jerseys came out and Twitter blew up these are the ugliest things in the world, and I remember seeing a bunch of people saying, "Hey, my 8-year-old loves that. It looks cool."
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe it's for your 8-year-old. Maybe the Yankees having a blue jersey with white pinstripes is maybe not for you, but maybe it's for your little cousin who sees it and goes, "That's really cool."
Right.
Because we all know, when you're kids, there could be the dumbest reason a team becomes your favorite team. Sometimes it's a player. Sometimes you get it from a family member. Sometimes it's because you think a jersey looks cool. So I even go back to the Mets black jerseys. I don't like them, but if a kid saw that and goes, "Wow, that's really cool," I like that, and then you become a Mets fan. Awesome, good for you.
That's a win. Grow the game and make money. Corey Faz says the current Mets alternate blue is 100 times better than the blacks.
I do like the
but
blues.
I do like the black ones, nostalgically. All right, so my hot take, hot fake after all of that. Wow, I didn't realize this segment was going to go on any longer than 5 minutes. But my hot take, hot fake. The New York Yankees will acquire Trevor Story by Friday.
So not that you want them, is that they will. I think that is a hot take because I think the Yankees front office are a bunch of idiots. They think they're still in it. They're going to say we're 2 games back in the loss column, and we are going to go get Trevor Story, and we are the Yankees. We don't sell. We're pushing forward.
It is a hot take, and it's, again, you're absolutely right. I had to put aside my personal feelings on the whole matter because clearly I've said multiple times in the show that I don't want the Yankees to make any move. But yes, the Yankees are going to be stupid enough to make that move by Friday.
Hope it doesn't cost too much. You know what? I'll be honest. I don't want to. I genuinely don't want to see it either. Something that matters. I would want to see what the package is. If the package includes, a couple of top 5 guys or even one top 5 prospect, I'm a little worried. If it ends up being like our 7th and our 13th best prospect, I'm fine with it at that point.
Yeah. You have to sign him, no? You make that kind of move for him, and you move over pieces that are going to impact your team for the next few years. You'd have to sign him. Does that not make sense?
It does, but again, he doesn't fit what we want. He's another right-handed bat, and it turns. I mean, listen. At this point, I know we're going kind of long here. The Yankees. They have to know what they have set up is broken. It's not working. And if they think, okay, listen, we're going to trade for Story. He's going to love New York. We're going to sign him in the offseason. But we're going to then trade Glaber. We're going to trade some of these other guys, and we're going to get some balance in this lineup. We're going to get some lefties. We're going to get some guys who aren't, 250 strikeout a year guys in the lineup. And they think Story is one of the, the right-handed kind of power hitters they want. Then I'm fine with that. But that's a lot of decisions to make, and again, for a guy that could just sign for free in the offseason.
And a guy they shouldn't sign or touch or even sniff, they're most likely going to make a real push at him. They've already had. So I really hope I'm wrong. But yes, that is my hot take for this goddamn team we call the New York Yankees. But that was it. I think that went over pretty well. Hot take, hot fake is now Savages in the Bronx. So here we go, bud. We're ending the show. Unfortunately, as always, I have to bid adieu to you and not see that beautiful face of yours until Monday. But until then, anybody you want to thank?
I've done this multiple times, actually, and I just want to yet again thank the Boston Red Sox for exposing the frauds that the New York Yankees are, and just to take my little heart that was beating and happy and thinking, all right, maybe we got this, and just squishing it. Thank you, Boston, for bringing me pain yet again. Next Monday, I'm going to be probably all kinds of beat up. I'm going to be down in Wildwood this weekend for our Ultimate Frisbee tournament, which is going to be a lot of sun, a lot more drinking, and running around. I'm going to be just absolutely banged up Monday, and we'll see where we're going to get.
Can you do the show Monday?
I'll be home. Yeah, no.
Am I gonna have to call on a pinch hitter?
No. We're driving home Monday morning. I will be very much home. I've always come home when we had Monday softball games. I used to come and attempt to play softball after. So I will be here to yell about the Yankees. I'll just do it probably much redder than I currently am, mostly because from some kind of a sunburn and from the lack of water in my system. I will be running on about 80% alcohol.
Ladies and gentlemen, special guest co-host next week, Chief Wahoo, the former logo of the Cleveland Indians. We look forward to seeing the chief here. I want to thank Corey Favs and Karif for being great guests in our Twitch chat. And of course, all our followers, our supporters, my family, hell, even the Wospil family, for being great supporters of our program and what we do. And we love what we do. And but the thing we don't love is the New York Yankees. So get your act together.
Don't love them.
And don't do anything stupid by Friday, because we don't want to rip you apart. Actually, I kind of do want to rip you apart come Monday, so maybe you will make something.
Rich and I did real quick. Rich and I did talk about possibly we have experimented with the idea of doing pop-up shows if big trades happen. If a big trade happens on Friday and I am already down in Wildwood, God only knows what you're going to get on that show.
Oh God!
But it will be a must tune in.
Well, it just got dark here at REM Studio, so that's it. We're gonna call it, folks. We'll see you here next Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Twitch. Take care.